Welcome back with a new math tutorial. In this video, we'll talk about ordering and comparing fractions. How we can compare and order two fractions. Number one, we need to check for the denominator. If the two fractions have the same denominator, for example, we have here 3 over 8, and the second one is 5 over 8. Once we have here the same denominator, the greatest numerator for the greatest fraction. Again, for this point, we have two fractions, whatever the fraction that we have. If the two numbers now with the same denominator, the greatest numerator for the greatest fraction. What if we have here 7 over 3 and 7 over 9? If they have the same numerator, the smallest denominator is the greatest fraction. So at the first, to compare between them, you need to make both of them with the same denominator. So if they have the same denominator or the same numerator, once they have the same denominator, the greatest numerator for the greatest fraction. If they have the same numerator, the smallest denominator for the greatest fraction. So you will find that in question number 1, we need to compare using greater than or smaller than or equal. 3 over 4 and 1 over 2. Just to start with the smallest denominator, we have now 2 and 4. We can write 2 as 4 just when we multiply it by 2. So when I multiply by 2, it will be equals 1 times 2 equals 2. And 2 times 2 equals 4. So now we compare between 3 over 4 and 2 over 4. Because they have the same denominator, so 3 is greater than 2, then 3 over 4 is greater than 1 over 2. Again for question number 2. We have 3 over 6 and 3 over 4. They have the same numerator, so the smallest denominator for the greatest fraction. So 3 over 4 is greater than 3 over 6. Now we have 2 over 6 and 1 over 3. 3, we can write it as 6 just when we multiply it by 2. So I will rewrite it, 1 times 2 equals 2. And 3 times 2 equals 6, just when we write the equivalent fraction. So we have 2 over 6 and 2 over 6. Both of them are equal. Again for question number 4. 2 over 3 and 1 over 3. They have the same denominator, so 2 over 3 is greater than 1 over 3. Now we have 3 over 4 and 1 over 3. If you need to write 3 to be 4, you will not find any number, just when we multiply it, it will be equal to 4. So we can rewrite the numerator. 1, we can write it as 3 when we multiply it by 3. So 1 times 3 equals 3. And 3 times 3 equals 9. So now we need to compare between 3 over 4 and 3 over 9. If we can't write both of them with the same denominator, we can check for the numerator. We have 3 up, so we need to compare between 4 and 9. The smallest number for the greatest fraction. If they have the same numerator, just look at the smallest number to choose the greatest fraction. Now we have 2 over 3 and 6 over 9. We can write 3 to be 9 once we multiply it by 3. So 2 times 3 equals 6, and 3 times 3 equals 9. So we have 6 over 9 and 6 over 9, both of them are equal. So if we need to compare, you need to make the same denominator or the same numerator. If the two fractions with the same denominator, the greatest numerator for the greatest fraction. If the two numbers with the same numerator, the smallest denominator for the greatest fraction. What if we need to arrange from the smallest to the greatest, or from the least to the greatest? Now we have 4 over 6, 1 over 3, and 3 over 3. Step number 1, you need to compare between them. You need to make the common denominator. So look at the denominator that we have 6, 3, and 3. With an easy way, we can just write 3 to be 6 if you multiply it by 2. So I will just write the first fraction without any change. Now I will make the denominator for the second one will be equal 6. We have 1 over 3. When I need to write it as over 6, 3 becomes 6 when you multiply it by 2. So 1 times 2 will be equals 2. So 1 over 3 will be equals 2 over 6. So again for the second fraction, 3 over 3, we need to write it with denominator equals 6. 3 multiplied by 2 equals 6, so it means 3 times 2 also equals 6. So we have 6 over 6. Now we can rearrange them. We need to arrange from the least to the greatest. The smallest number of all of them with the same denominator, so it will be 2 over 4 will be the smallest one. And the next one will be equals 4 over 6. The last one, or the greatest number now, will be equals 6 over 6. So we can write the order will be 2 over 6, which is 1 over 3. So I will write 1 over 3. The second one now will be 4 over 6. The last one will be equals 3 over 3. In question number 23, we have 1 over 6, 2 over 5, 3 over 4. How we can arrange them? If you look at the denominator, they are different. And we have 6, 5, and 4. To make the same denominator, it will take too much time. But once you look at 1, 2, and 3, it will be easy just by write the multiple of each one. Because we have 1 we can multiply it by any number to find the product, the required number. 2 and 3, both of them are prime numbers. If we have 2 prime numbers, just multiply them together to find the common numerator or the common denominator. Once you multiply them, you will find that the product will be equal 6. So rewrite all of the fraction now with numerator equal 6. We will write 6, 6, and 6. 1 becomes 6 when you multiply it by 6. So 6 times 6 equals 36. Again for the second one. 2 becomes 6 when you multiply it by 3. So 5 times 3 equals 15. 3 becomes 6 when you multiply it by 2. So 4 times 2 equals 8. Now all of the fractions with the same numerator, just we choose the greatest numerator for the smallest fraction. So 6 over 36, that will be the first one. 6 over 15, the second one. And the third one will be equal 6 over 8. That's how we can arrange from the least to the greatest. So the order now will be equal. 6 over 36, that's 4 1 over 6. 6 over 15, 4 2 over 5. 6 over 8, that's 4 3 over 4. So to rearrange or order any fractions, just we need to make a common denominator or a common numerator. Once we find a number that we can't make a common denominator, just look at the common numerator. If you find a prime numbers, just multiply them to find a common numerator or a common denominator. In question number 24, we have the same. 3 over 8, 2 over 5, 2 over 10. It will be easy to make a common numerator because we have a prime numbers, so just multiply them. Don't say I will multiply 3 times 2 times 2. Just multiply 3 times 2. Once you have a repeated number, ignore it. Once you have 1, ignore this one. But when we have here 2 and 3, both of them are a prime number, just multiply them. So now we will make a common numerator for them will be equal 6. 3 becomes 6 when you multiply it by 2. So 8 times 2 equals 16. 2 becomes 6 when you multiply it by 3. 5 times 3 equals 15. 2 becomes 6 when you multiply it by 3. So 10 times 3 equals 30. Now we need to rearrange them. From the least to the greatest, mean I'm looking to the greatest denominator. The greatest one will be 30. The next one will be equal 16. And the last one will be equals 15. So the order now will be equal. The smallest number is 6 over 30, that's 4 2 over 10. And the next one is 6 over 16, that's 4 3 over 8. The last one will be 6 over 15, and that's 4 2 over 5. And that's how we can compare and order fractions.